There was a very wealthy man, who was bothered by severe eyes pain. He consulted many physicians, and was being treated by several. He visited many medical experts, he consumed heavy loads of drugs, and underwent hundreds of injections. But the ache persisted, with even more vigor than before. At last, a monk who was supposed to be an expert in treating such patients, was called for by the suffering man. The monk understood his problem, and said that for some time, he should concentrate only on green colors, and not to let his eyes fall on any other colors. It was a strange prescription, but he was desperate, and decided to try it. The millionaire got together a group of painters, and purchased barrels of green paint. He instructed that every object that caught his eye has to be painted green, just as the monk had directed. His house and all the surrounding were painted green. And the millionaire eyesight was indeed better. After a few days, the monk came to visit him. The millionaire's servants was holding a bucket of green paint, and asked to pour it on the monk, since he was wearing a red dress. If their master sees any other color, his eye ache would come back. Hearing this, the monk laughed and said, "If only you had purchased a pair of green spectacles, worth just a few dollars. You could have saved a large share of your fortune from buying green paint. You cannot paint the world green." Changing the world might seem like an insurmountable task. When facing problems in life, people often think that, in order to achieve what they want, they need to change themselves. Trying to change yourself, that is, who you are, will inevitably lead to failure and hopelessness. The problem with using the word change is, it gets your identity involved. And when you get your identity involved, you become really emotionally attached to imaginary things. You beat yourself up for the mistake that you make, for not follow up with your expectation. Why can't I do this? Maybe I'm just not that kind of person. You started to ask yourself. You begin to give up on those dreams you had. You let those dreams wash away, and replace them with realistic goals that other people give. But, if you instead focus on changing your actions, without worrying about how it changes you as a person, real change becomes much simpler. There is a difference in saying, "I'll go to the gym tomorrow," and, "I'll be the person that go to the gym every week." The first line is just a simple action, while the second one attaches your entire identity to it. When we decide that certain behaviors, or events, represent our worth as a human being, it is very difficult to not be affected emotionally. Instead, think of your life merely as a long sequence of actions and decisions. What most of us mean when we say we'd like to change ourselves is simply that we'd like to make slightly better actions and decisions that lead ourselves on a better path. Once you learn to remove those expectations and emotion from your action, your path to success will be much easier. Let us change our vision and the world will appear accordingly. It is foolish to shape the world. Let us shape ourselves first.